How mindfulness changes the emotional life of our brains. Over the last several decades, mindfulness has acquired a tremendous amount of popularity, not only as a wellness fad, but also as a practice that is supported by scientific research and has significant advantages for mental and emotional well-being. Being present in the moment and noticing one's thoughts, feelings, and experiences without passing judgment on them is the definition of mindfulness at its most fundamental level. But what exactly is the nature of the changes that mindfulness brings about in the emotional brain? The neurological and psychological factors that underlie mindfulness, as well as the transforming impact that mindfulness has on our emotional well-being, are investigated in depth in this video. 1. Acquiring an understanding of mindfulness. The practice of mindfulness entails establishing a heightened state of awareness of the present moment. This enables individuals to concentrate on the experiences they are having at the time, rather than being preoccupied with worries about the past or the future. Individuals can observe their thoughts and feelings without automatically reacting to them or being overwhelmed as a result of this practice, which involves encouraging a non-reactive and non-judgmental attitude to experiencing them. Mindfulness practices that are commonly used include meditation, exercises that involve deep breathing, and mindful observation of things that occur during the day. 2. The study of the neuroscientific basis for mindfulness. Several studies have demonstrated that the practice of mindfulness can result in changes in both the anatomical and functional aspects of the brain. Some important findings are as follows. Regular mindfulness practice has been shown to increase the density of gray matter in regions of the brain that are related to learning, memory, emotion regulation, and self-awareness. Specific examples of these regions include the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex. Research conducted with magnetic resonance imaging (MRI) has demonstrated this phenomenon. This shows that practicing mindfulness can improve cognitive performance as well as the ability to regulate emotions. Amygdala alterations include the following. One of the structures in the brain that is involved in the processing of emotions, particularly responses to stress and fear, is called the amygdala. It has been demonstrated that practicing mindfulness can reduce the size and activity of the amygdala, which in turn reduces emotional reactivity and the intensity of stress responses during times of stress. It is possible that over time, this will result in a more balanced emotional state, in which individuals will be less likely to experience anxiety and emotional outbursts. Enhancing the functioning of the prefrontal cortex via being mindful has a beneficial effect on the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that is responsible for higher-order thinking, decision-making, and self-control. Through the practice of mindfulness, the connection between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala is strengthened, which eventually results in improved regulation of emotional reactions. As a result, individuals can respond to stressors in a more composed and intelligent manner, which leads to better emotional resilience. Third, the practice of mindfulness and the regulation of emotions. Individuals who practice mindfulness benefit from increased awareness of their emotional states as well as the triggers that cause them to experience negative emotions. Individuals can establish a distance between the stimulus and the response by watching their feelings without passing judgment on them. This gives them the ability to choose how they will react rather than being controlled by their natural emotional responses. This may result in the following. Reduction in rumination. The practice of mindfulness helps individuals stop the cycle of rumination, which is characterized by the constant repetition of negative ideas and events. A more balanced emotional state can be achieved through the practice of mindfulness, which involves concentrating on the here and now to lessen the impact of past regrets and future fears. Regular mindfulness practice has been connected to increasing levels of pleasant emotions as well as decreased levels of depression and anxiety. There is also a correlation between regular mindfulness practice and improved well-being. Practicing mindfulness helps cultivate feelings of gratitude, compassion, and acceptance, all of which are essential components of emotional well-being. This, in turn, supports a more optimistic view. Mindfulness helps individuals become more attuned to their emotions, which enables them to recognize and label their feelings more precisely. This increased emotional awareness is one of the benefits of practicing mindfulness. This heightened emotional intelligence makes it possible to have more effective communication and to have stronger connections with other people. 4. The importance of mindfulness in the effectiveness of stress reduction. One of the most important psychological advantages of practicing mindfulness is that it can lessen feelings of stress. The effects of chronic stress can be deleterious to both the physical and emotional health of an individual, leading to diseases such as anxiety, depression, and cardiovascular difficulties. Mindfulness is beneficial for engage the relaxation response. Mindfulness techniques, such as deep breathing and meditation, engage the relaxation response in the body, which helps to balance the fight-or-flight response that is caused by stress. The levels of the stress hormone cortisol are reduced as a result of this, which also contributes to an increased sense of calm. Enhance emotional resilience. Individuals can become more resilient to stress by training their brains to respond to stresses with mindfulness. This training helps individuals overcome stress. When confronted with difficult circumstances, they are better able to handle them and recover from negative experiences more rapidly. 5. The relationship between mindfulness and the default mode network. When the mind is at rest and not focused on the outside world, a network of brain areas known as the default mode network becomes active. This network is also known as the default mode network. Rumination, mind-wandering, and self-referential ideas are terms that are frequently used to describe it. It has been discovered that practicing mindfulness can lessen activity in the default mode network, which can result in the following. Reduced mind-wandering. Mindfulness helps individuals stay focused on the present moment by reducing the activity of the default mode network DMN. This in turn reduces the inclination to obsess over negative ideas. This may result in improved concentration and mental clarity. A decrease in the activity of the default mode network DMN enables individuals to take a step back from their ideas and objectively observe them, which ultimately results in a higher sense of self-detachment to the individual. This contributes to a more balanced emotional state and helps lessen the amount of emotional reactivity that occurs. 6. The long-term advantages of practicing mindfulness for one's emotional well-being. There are other benefits to practicing mindfulness that go beyond the immediate regulation of emotions and the reduction of stress. There is a correlation between long-term mindfulness practice and the following. Increased neuroplasticity. Mindfulness is a practice that helps to cultivate neuroplasticity, which is the capacity of the brain to restructure itself through the formation of new neural connections. Individuals can break free from bad thought patterns and acquire healthy ways of thinking and responding to emotions as a result of this. Through the alleviation of stress and the promotion of emotional well-being, mindfulness has the potential to have a beneficial effect on one's physical health. It has been associated with a reduction in blood pressure, an improvement in immunological function, and an improvement in the quality of sleep. The practice of mindfulness is associated with an improved quality of life because it fosters a higher feeling of purpose, pleasure, and fulfillment in one's life. Individuals who engage in mindfulness practices frequently report feeling a stronger connection to both themselves and others, which ultimately results in more meaningful relationships and a more fulfilling life experience. Concluding remarks. Practicing mindfulness has a significant influence on the emotional life that occurs in our brains. Through the cultivation of a state of presence and awareness that is free of judgment, mindfulness assists individuals in the regulation of their feelings, the reduction of stress, and the improvement of their general well-being. As a result of the changes in brain structure and function that are brought about by mindfulness practice, there is a scientific basis for its effectiveness, which makes it an important tool for maintaining effective emotional health. The potential of mindfulness to bring about remarkable changes in people's lives is becoming more and more apparent as it continues to be included in educational and therapeutic contexts. A way for a happier and more balanced emotional existence can be found via the practice of mindfulness, which can be accomplished through meditation, mindful breathing, or simply by being present in the activities of daily life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us create more awesome content.